What's up? What's up? I am back. Yours truly. Easter Sunday, episode 131 of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and more. Before we get started, don't forget that the audio version of my podcast goes to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram TV, Rumble, and we also stream the video on 3 of our Twitter accounts live on Twitter at Promo Palace LLC, Twitter at Paul P Podcast, and Twitter at Paul W Pickett. Also, don't forget the audio version of our podcast will be uploaded to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much, much more. Before we get started, let's load some commercials in to the mix, and let's get a message from one of our sponsors. Of course, we have about 2 or 3 sponsors in the Promo Palace podcast. So let's go ahead and start with our first sponsor of the day, and let's give you a message from them.
Joke got me addicted, ain't no coke. Let's just have a toast. Anybody want some smoke? Cause it's up, I be dizzled up. Catch me sipping with my double cup. Can't just have one, you gotta double up. You pour it, gotta watch it bubble up. I ain't gon' lie, I cannot get enough. What Callie said, I need another one. Gon' have you coming back for more, but go get it while it's hot. Before it be sold out in your stores. That dizzle.
That was DizzleBrand.com. Check them out. You go order the merchandise. You got the Dizzle Brand merchandise, as you see. Dizzle Brand Premium Luxury Liqueur. Check them out, DizzleBrand.com. You go order the merchandise, get the hats, the t-shirts, the hoodies, as well as go to DizzleBrand.com. Our locations and the top 3 links on that page are online order links, where you go order your very own bottle of Dizzle if you're 21 or over. Have Dizzle shipped anywhere in the United States, and you probably go order it internationally too as well. I don't know how that typically works. And also follow them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and much, much more. All right, let's get in last night's scores. Utah beat Dallas. Of course, they only beat them by 6 points, and Luka didn't play. And we're going to pull up the box scores. See, that's the thing with the playoffs. We're going to pull up all these box scores and just pretty much go over all the leading scores and who did what. But 32 from Rudy Gobert, only 5 points, but he had 3 blocks and 17 assists. Donovan Mitchell also 17 rebounds, my bad. Donovan Mitchell had 32 points, 1 block, 1 steal, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds. I mean, you can't ask more from a guy. 32, 6 and 6, and 26, 5 and 4 from Bogdanovich. Of course, Luka didn't play. You had Spencer Dinwiddie put up 22. Brunson did 24. 14 from Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie. If Luka plays this game, Dallas wins this game, and Dallas could easily still win this series if Luka can get back for the next game. But if Luka misses 2 or 3 games, I don't give him a chance. Minnesota beat Memphis. When I was looking at the box scores early in the game, I said to myself, Memphis is going to lose this game. Memphis is definitely going to lose the game. All the players were like at negatives. And you had 23 off the bench from Malik Beasley and 15 from Jalen McDaniels. Then you got 10 apiece from your backcourt. So you got 20 from the backcourt, 29 from the center, 36 from your forward, and you got 38 off the bench. You're gonna win every single time. And that's the thing, man. The reason why I kind of said that Minnesota probably can upset Memphis in this series is experience. D'Angelo Russell is more experienced. Patrick Beverley's got way more experience. Karl Anthony Towns. Probably, I don't know how old Jared Vanderbilt is. You got Malik Beasley, Taurean Prince, Nas Reed. They got way more experience on the team than Memphis got. The only experience that Memphis really has is really Steven Adams. Steven Adams. You got 32 out of John Morant, 24 out of Dylan Brooks, 17 out of Bangs. But you didn't get much for the bench, man. Brandon Clark put up 13, but you didn't. It was really about the bench. And there were four of the starting five were negative 13 or more for the night. So that doesn't help. All right. The next game was Philadelphia and Toronto, and Philly waxed them. From what I saw, the box score. If it's gonna go this way to the rest of the playoffs, Phillies can go to the finals. I mean, literally can go to the finals. You literally got Toronto got 20 out of OG Anunoby. Pascal put up 24, 18 from Fred VanVleet. Gary Trent only put up 9 points and a 15 for Scotty Barnes, but the whole starting five was a negative 10 or more. Danny, you got 26 from Tobias Harris, 19. Embiid only put up 19 and 15. He had an easy night for himself. 38 from Tyrese Maxey, 22 and 14 assists from James Harden. If you get that, 22 and 14 from James, if Maxey puts up, anywhere from 25 or more, and Embiid puts up, 20-something or more, or Tobias Harris 20-something or more. That's the thing. They got Tobias Harris could put up 20 on any given night. Joel Embiid could put up 25 or more any night. James Harden could put up 25 or more on any given night. It looks like Tyrese Maxey is getting to that point. You got four guys that could put up 25 points in any given night. You should have no problem scoring. They didn't get much out of the bench, but it didn't freaking matter when four players score over 19 on the starting five, and one is 38 and a 26. 5 for 8 from threes from Tyrese Maxey, 4 from 7 for James Harden, 3 for 5 Tobias Harris. I mean, Philly plays like that, they're going to be unstoppable, man. Unstoppable. Golden State and Denver. Me and my friend were just talking about this series. Golden State has the better team on paper. But the Nuggets have the better player. Jokic is the best player in the series. And Steph didn't even start last night. But Jokic doesn't got enough. I mean, you got 24 out of Will Barton and 25 out of Jokic. That's just not enough. That's just not enough when you get 16 out of Wiggins, 12 out of Draymond, 19 out of Clay. Jordan Poole put up 30 and he started. And Steph Curry put up 16. And that's the thing. Warriors are going to be in a little position soon. Warriors are going to be in a position soon where they're going to have to really, really evaluate where they want to go. I'm thinking it's maybe if Klay Thompson doesn't show any kind of pickup during his playoffs, like he doesn't really get back in the swing of things in his playoffs, and the beginning of next year, I'm thinking by All-Star break, they should trade Klay Thompson and let Jordan Poole just take over at two guard. I understand Klay and Steph have been the two greatest shooters on the backcourt ever, but Klay just came off of an injury where two straight injuries where he was out 2 years. He got off an injury, started practicing, and got injured again. The 2 straight years he hasn't played, 2 full seasons. He's never going to be the same defensively, I don't think. I don't think he ever will be. Who's to say he will be offensively? Yeah, he can shoot, but he's not. Who says he can run around the screens like he used to and run through all these screens and run around? Who knows? I'm just thinking if they stay with Clay, they're gonna lose Jordan. They're gonna have to make a choice between Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson in the next year or two. They really are. All right, tonight's games we got Atlanta, Miami. That's at 1 p.m. That starts at 1 p.m. Boston and Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Chicago, Phoenix, and New Orleans Pelicans. Miami, Atlanta is interesting. I feel like that could go either way. I feel like both teams are pretty deep. If Atlanta was upset Miami, I would not be shocked. Brooklyn beats Boston, I would not be shocked. Boston's going to have their hands full. I don't think Chicago stands a chance to win in one single game. I got them getting swept 4-0 by the Bucks. This Pelicans and Phoenix is interesting. This is why it's interesting. Now, follow me here when I say this. Don't get sensitive and get in a frenzy and be like, Paul said New Orleans Pelicans got the two best players. No, it's not what I'm about to say. If you compare Phoenix to Pelicans, the Pelicans clearly got the two best scorers compared to Phoenix. CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram are clearly the better scoring duo of the teams. Now is CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram better than Chris Paul and Devin Booker as a backcourt? No. But they're better scorers. CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram combined are a far better scoring tandem than Chris Paul and Devin Booker at this point, because Brandon Ingram can put up the same amount as Devin Booker, and so can CJ McCollum. Chris Paul can, but he's more of the facilitator guy. He's more trying to get everybody else involved. So if New Orleans Pelicans were to win a few games here, I would not be shocked. If they used to win this game tonight, I would not be shocked because they have the better of the scoring duo. Now, I didn't say defense or better duo, but they got the better score. So I wouldn't be shocked that they win this game. I got Brooklyn tonight, and it's Atlanta at Miami. I got Brooklyn, Milwaukee. I'm gonna go with Phoenix. I don't think Pelicans do stand a chance though tonight, but I wouldn't be shocked. And I'm going to Atlanta with upset. I'm going with Atlanta with the upset. Definitely. Before I get into these topics, let's give you another word from one of our sponsors.
Are you a musician looking for music marketing and promotion? Then look no further than Promo Palace LLC, your one-stop shop for all music promotion services. Services include Spotify playlist pitching, YouTube video promotion, record pool promotion, blog placements, radio airplay promotion, SoundCloud promotion, and much more. With over 2,000 customers and over 10 years of experience in online promotion, Promo Palace LLC is a company you can trust. For more info, please go to promopalace.biz. See you there.
And of course, I own promopalace.biz. Check us out. You need online marketing promotions. Get marketing promotions at promopalace.biz. SEO, social media ad, influencer marketing, blog placements, playlist pitching, record pool promotion, DJ promotion, whatever it may be. First topic. Stephon Gilmore to the Colts. I'm not really going to stay on it too long. Does this help the Colts? Yes. The Colts already got Matt Ryan, which is an upgrade from Carson Wentz. They're pretty much trying to go all in with Matt Ryan. They got a Jonathan Taylor running back. They were already pretty good at defense, and it seems like they got a lot better. The AFC is really, really going to be interesting this year, because you got at least 4 or 5 teams that have a legit chance of going to the Super Bowl. Let me get into this movie I watched today. I've seen it before. It just made me think of a topic that I want to discuss. and just kind of get people's idea. Unthinkable. Now, I've always explained this topic on, and if you ain't seen Unthinkable, Unthinkable is when an American soldier, he becomes a Muslim, and he basically shoots a video with these nuclear bombs that he places, in all these places. And they basically try to torture information out of him. And, I think about this, like, there's a lot of people that think, like, torturing is inhumane and unacceptable. And for the most part, it is. But there's situations, I think, that are totally, totally acceptable for you to torture people. Like when you watch, like, these Law and Order TV shows or Chicago PD or something like that, and there's a pedophile or child molester or kidnapper or something that's kidnapped the kid, and he has the kid stashed somewhere, but he's in the interrogation room locked up. I do think it is acceptable to beat the information out of him. If it involves a kid and their life is in jeopardy and they're been kidnapped and they're stashed somewhere, I mean, there's no rules to this shit. You do whatever the hell. If you got to rip his fingernails off, bash his hands in with a sledgehammer, stick a damn needle up his dick, I mean, whatever it is, start cutting off fingers and toes just to get the information to find out where that kid is. I'm sorry. Anybody who thinks that's acceptable, that thinks that's unacceptable, you're the person that's inhumane. You're the person who is not living in the real world. You're the one that's really the inhumane person to sit there and think that when a kid's involved, oh, let's not torture this guy because he has rights, because he's a human. Who gives a rat's ass? If it's going to find where the kid's at, beat the information out of him. Same thing with somebody planting a bomb. Like if somebody plants a bomb in a major city that's going to kill 1 million people, this idea that you can't torture one person to get the information is bogus. It's not the real world. It's not. Even the laws of nature would say that's acceptable. Kill or be killed. Slaughter or be slaughtered. When I watch Unthinkable, and Samuel Jackson plays in this, Carrie-Ann Moss, I really get upset of the sensitivity of torturing a person who, is going to kill millions of people. Do whatever it takes. And it ain't even about the greater good or any of that bullshit. It's just about you're talking about most of those, they're predominantly innocent lives. They're predominantly innocent lives. Most of them probably never went to war themselves against Iraq. That's the thing. Like, when we go to war with countries, like, we went to war with Japan. I don't hate all Japanese people. I don't hate Japanese people at all. We went to war with Afghanistan and Iraq. I don't hate nobody in Afghanistan or Iraq. I don't hate no Arabs. I don't hate nobody in no other country that I've never met or that I don't know anything about their character. If I don't know anything about your character, I can't make prejudgments, even like terrorists and stuff like that. I understand why they're doing this. We poked the bear. It's not like we didn't fuck with them first. That's the thing. We always fuck with people first. And when they fuck with us later or retaliate, we always want to act like we're the good guy, the greater good and all that horse shit. No. But at the same time, when we're talking about innocent lives, tons of innocent lives involved, and we're talking about torturing one person to get the information, I'm sorry, I don't feel sympathetic for that one person. If he's a child molester or a pedophile and he's got some kid stash, I don't care what the hell you do to him. Chop his damn dick off and make him talk if you have to. because I don't sympathize for a child molester or kidnapper or pedophile in the first fucking place as it is. And anybody who does is a complete scumbag. I repeat, anybody sympathize with torture and a child molester and a pedophile and a kidnapper is a complete scumbag. You're pretty much siding with the motherfuckers. So yeah, Unthinkable, it really got to me when, Carrie Ann Moss was getting all sensitive, like, oh, we're humans, we can't do this. The motherfucker's about to kill millions of innocent people, and you talking about we can't do this because we're humans. Well, where was his humanity? This idea that every human is supposed to just love every human is bogus. It's make-believe. It's fairy tales. It's just like you cannot eliminate hate. These people that think, these anti-racist and anti-hate movement people, whatever, they're not even realistic. You're trying to accomplish something that is impossible. That is not even achievable whatsoever. It's like the way I think about these climate control people. They talk about climate control, climate control. Are you a complete fucking jackass and a moron? Nobody can control climate. Nobody can control the weather. And if they can, then the government has some machine like that movie where they're controlling weather and they're making storms happen. And if that's the case, we're really fucking up and playing God. But this idea that mankind can control climate, can end racism, can prevent people from hating other people, can just stop all hatred in the world, make everybody love each other. Everybody should love everybody. This love, peace, and happiness. Yeah, it sounds good on paper. It sounds good on paper. Don't get me wrong. But it's not even a realistic train of thought. It has no reality to it. It's no realer than the Easter Bunny. You like that? You like how I did that, right? It's no realer than the Easter Bunny, man. Like some people think they can control every aspect of life. They think they could just control everything in life. I'm telling you right now, nobody can control the weather. Nobody can totally end racism. Racism has been around since there's been multiple races and multiple people in this world. Just like slavery has been around since the beginning of mankind's existence, and it's going to be around until we die. There's still slavery going on to this day, But those countries that still got slavery to this day, I don't see nobody throwing a hissy fit and getting sensitive and going in on that shit, They always want to just go in on past slaveries. Nobody goes in on present slavery. They only care about past slavery, which is really hypocritical in my stance, in my opinion, that you only care about past slaveries and past events. You don't care about none of this shit that's going on today. Like there's still slavery in Africa to this day. But apparently all these anti-racist people don't give a rat's ass about black people enslaving other black people. They only care about whites enslaving blacks, which is another hypocritical thing. Slavery is slavery, man. Every race on this planet, and I repeat, every race on this planet has enslaved people. And they probably all have enslaved people of opposite races. You're not going to tell me that Africans didn't enslave other people that tried to come from other countries or other areas and try to fight them. You're not going to tell me that if some Romans came and fought them and they conquered them, they wouldn't enslave them too. That was part of war. When you conquered people in war, the loser always got enslaved. The loser was always enslaved. But Unthinkable, it really got deep because Samuel Jackson, they knew they couldn't torture. Samuel knew he wasn't going to crack and he couldn't get the information out of him. So he brought the guy's wife in and was going to torture her. And they didn't want to let him torture the dude's wife. But, Once again, we're talking about millions of innocent people being killed. You know, when you're talking about war, this idea that in war there's rules to this shit, I can tell you right now, your enemy is not following by the same rules as you. That was some dumbass British and American Revolution shit, and they didn't even follow. The British didn't even follow the same rules as the Americans. Look at the Civil War. When Union soldiers got locked up by Confederates, Confederate prisons were far worse than Union prisons. Confederate prisons, they were starving the dudes to death, that some of them were literally eating each other in there. You know, just like Brittany Griner. I guarantee Brittany Griner is loving America right now. All that shit she talked about America, put down America. America's the most racist, oppressive country on the planet. I guarantee when she's locked up in that Russian prison for getting arrested for some cannabis oil, she's rethinking her train of thought, right? She's totally rethinking that. Because it's easy for to say America's the worst country on the planet until you go elsewhere. I don't see Americans running to move in Russia to move to China. I don't see them running in Russia to move to Russia. I don't see Americans running to move to Africa, South America, any of these countries. I don't see Americans rushing to run to any freaking countries outside of America. Name the country that Americans are just all running to, like, we got to move there. There isn't one. But guess what? Everybody in every other fucking country, they all wanting to move here. They all most of them are begging to move here, rushing to move here, running to move here. We got to stop with these hypocrisies, man. Yes, we're fucked up country. We're not perfect, but we got to stop acting like we are worse than every other country on the planet when that is the complete biggest horse shit I've ever heard in my entire life. South American countries ain't even giving out no welfare for South American countries whatsoever. They ain't getting no freaking welfare free. Ain't none of that shit going on. Some countries, you think North Korea, they ain't even no freedom of speech in North Korea. You think you go to North Korea and just say what you want, get loudmouth and boisterous and start saying what you want in North Korea, and your ass will be you'll be dead and missing. We got to stop it, man, with these false ass narratives, man. We really do. All right, before I get to this last topic, let's get into another commercial. This your boy, the one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, a.k.a. Triple P, a.k.a. the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, sport events, and more. Please check me out 3 to 4 days a week on my video podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Rumble. And check out the audio version on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much more. Peace. See you there. Of course, that was me, the one and only Paul Pickett, and that was the Paul Pickett Podcast commercial. That commercial, we actually got a version of that commercial running right now on YouTube as our ad, so check me out 3 days a week, and of course, all those platforms. All right, let's get into this last topic. This last topic was brought to my attention by my sister, and I'm not going to bring my sister's name up, but both of my sisters are teachers, right? And my younger sister, I called her the other day, and I was just asking her, being a teacher, is there any crazy radical curriculums that they're trying to implement in the schools? And she said no, but there's a lot of kids that are saying they're non-binary. And what she brought to my attention was that the majority of these kids that are out here saying they're non-binary are only doing it because it's a trend. It's not that they all necessarily believe it. Even though it's not real anyways, it's make believe. That's one thing that's you're never going to get me to admit, to accept. It would never be reality in my book until a biological man can get pregnant and breastfeed a baby, get pregnant, have a baby, breastfeed a baby, and until a biological woman can grow a penis or get a penis attached on and she can impregnate another woman. And until those things happen, you will never convince me. But so it made me think though, like, wow, so the fact that this is a trend makes me take it even less serious. I take it even less serious. This is no different than when Criss Cross put their pants on backwards and their shirts on backwards, and all of us went to school. All the boys did at least. We all went to school with our shirt and our pants on backwards, at least for a day or two, until we realized you had a hard time pissing, and it wasn't easy to take off your damn shirt either, especially if you had a button-up shirt. Like Criss Cross did. They had White Sox jerseys buttoned up backwards. So this is a trend. First of all, being that it's a trend, you don't get to make everybody have to accept the trend. That's number one. Number two, you don't get to make everybody accept a trend as reality. And number three, since it's a trend, you don't get to make me have to follow your trend. And the fact that it is a trend, I think non-binary people lose all their credibility. I think they lose all their credibility just because, yes, the first few of them idiots and jackasses probably believe that bullshit. And because anybody who believes that non-binary is a real existing thing has no common sense or common knowledge of anything in life. They don't understand. And I seen a video the other day where this teacher was saying that when you're born, the doctors, they guess your sex or gender. That's bullshit. That's complete horseshit that they guess. They don't freaking guess. They look at the baby's reproductive parts, and that's how they decide. They go off evidence, facts. This idea that doctors are guessing your sex, they're guessing your gender, is complete horseshit, complete bullshit, bogus, made up, imaginary fairy tales, bullshit. No more realer than an Easter bunny. Happy Easter. It's no more real than an Easter bunny. They're not guessing. They're going off of tens of thousands of years of factual, hard evidence. That's what they're going off of. But these people out here just want to spew all this false rhetoric with these false narratives, these make-believe, bogus bullshit. That's the thing. You don't get to make people accept make-believe as reality just because you do. You don't get to make me call you by your non-binary just to make you feel better when I will never, ever accept that as reality. I will never agree with it, accept it as reality one bit. And this idea that we're just guessing genders and sexes because a baby boy could actually be born a baby girl. We just don't know it yet because his body hasn't told him. First of all, your body can't speak, you freaking morons. Your brain is what talks to you. Like people always be talking about, making decisions from the heart. The heart doesn't make decisions. The brain makes the decisions. The brain is the thing that tells the heart to pump. No decisions come from your heart. Your brain is really your heart thinking. Like when people talk about just thinking with their heart, that's your brain. That's your brain telling you, I'm a good human being or I'm a bad human being. It's not your heart. The heart is nothing but a muscle. So yeah, man, we gotta stop with these false fairy tale narratives. And the fact that non-binary is a trend and most of these kids are just doing it because it's the trendy thing to do. There's no credibility to it whatsoever. Just because it's a trend doesn't make it credible. Doesn't make it reality. It doesn't mean it's going to last longer than a year or two. Who knows? That's the thing. Non-binary is such a trend. Transgender, and that's not trend. That's a whole different thing. And that's the thing. Even a transgender person is selecting, saying they're either male or female. They're not saying they're not. Like if somebody says they're non-binary, transgender, now that you're just doing shit just for attention. And non-binary, I will never call you them or they either. You don't get to force me to. And that's another thing. My sister said she had a student that wanted to be called by them or they. Well, as a teacher, if you're calling your kids them or they, I wouldn't want you teaching my kid because you don't even know how to speak with proper English etiquette. Why would I want somebody who speaks like an illiterate, non-educated, improper etiquette? Why the hell would I want them teaching my kid? And my sister didn't, she didn't want to really buy into it, but she doesn't want to make her students feel uncomfortable. But at the same time, if my sister's calling every kid them or they just because they want to, my sister wouldn't be allowed to teach my kid. I would have to go to the school and complain and be like, yo, I know this is my sister and all, but she can't teach my kid. Because if you can't even speak in proper English etiquette, you don't need to be teaching no fucking kids. If you're buying into this horse shit of not speaking in proper English etiquette, for all but tens of thousands of years, we've called one person him or her. All of a sudden, 15 minutes ago, people want that to be changed overnight. No, you don't get to do that. Just so you can feel better. I'm sorry. So this non-binary thing, I thought was interesting that it's really a trend. It's just like the trendy thing to do. So knowing that a lot of these jackasses calling themselves non-binary don't really believe it, it gives you a better insight and better understanding that you can't take all these fools serious when they say, I'm not male nor female. Because a lot of them don't believe that shit. They're just following the trends because it's this week's freaking trend, So there's that. So yeah, once again, I want to thank you for tuning in, Paul Pickett Podcast. This is episode 131, Easter Sunday. Happy Easter. I do miss the days of actually Easter egg hunting when my grandmother used to actually put dollar bills and change in the plastic Easter eggs and candy and all types of stuff, But yeah. So once again, thank you for tuning in and peace.